I noticed the badge before I registered the words. It was handed to me along with a polite smile. Efficient, practiced, the kind you give when you're following instructions, not making decisions, limited access guest. For a second, I thought it might be some kind of internal category, seating arrangement maybe, a way to manage crowd flow. Then my mother leaned in slightly, her voice low enough to stay between us. That means no plate. She said it like she was explaining a detail I might otherwise miss. Not apologetic, not unkind, just factual. I nodded, not because I understood it fully in that moment, but because I didn't want to stand there holding confusion while everything around me kept moving. Music was playing. People were greeting each other, adjusting outfits, finding their places. It was a well-organized event, careful, intentional. Nothing about it felt accidental. I stepped aside, letting others pass. The badge felt heavier than it should have. Just paper, pinned slightly off-center. I looked across the room. The head table was set. Names placed, plates arranged, glasses already filled. Everything aligned. I knew how much of this had been planned in advance. I'd seen parts of it come together, deposits, vendor calls, last-minute adjustments when something didn't fit the budget. I hadn't been formally included in decisions, but I'd been present where it mattered, when numbers didn't work, when timing slipped, when something needed covering quietly so it wouldn't become a problem. It wasn't unusual for me to step in like that. It had never required acknowledgement before. I stayed where I was for a while, watching the room settle into its rhythm. Conversations layered over each other. Laughter came easily. No one looked at the badge twice, or maybe they did, and it just didn't register as anything unusual. I felt the moment stretch. Not uncomfortable, just clarifying. I could stay, find a corner, stand through it, leave when it was appropriate, or I could respond. Not loudly, not disruptively, just accurately. The gift table was set near the entrance. Clean, organized, labeled. Envelopes stacked neatly, boxes arranged by size. Mine was easy to find. I had written his name carefully, thought about what I wanted it to represent. Not just the amount, but the intention behind it. Something steady, supportive, quiet, consistent like I had always been. I picked it up, no one stopped me. A few people glanced over, then away again. It didn't look like anything out of place, just another small movement in a busy room. I turned back once, just to be sure. My brother was across the hall, mid-conversation, smiling in that way people do when everything is finally coming together. For a moment, I watched him, not with resentment, just with a kind of distance I hadn't felt before. Then I walked toward him. He noticed me when I got close enough to interrupt the space around him. His expression shifted slightly, not concern, just adjustment. I held out the envelope. I think you won't need this anymore, I said. I kept my voice even, not quiet, not loud. Just enough for him to hear it clearly. He looked at the envelope, then at me. What do you mean? I didn't answer right away, because the explanation was already there, pinned to my chest. I mean, I won't be part of this, I said. Not the event, not just the room. The arrangement. Something in his posture changed then. Not fully, but enough to register. That's not, he started, then paused. You're here. I glanced down briefly at the badge. Not really, I said. There was a moment where he could have said something different. Something that shifted it back, reframed it, acknowledged it. He didn't nod immediately, and that was enough. I placed the envelope in his hand and stepped back. I hope it goes well, I added. It wasn't sarcastic. I meant it. Then I turned. I could hear movement behind me as I walked toward the exit. Chair shifting, someone calling my name. Not sharply, just trying to catch up with something already in motion. Outside, the air felt cooler than I expected. I didn't rush. There was no need. Halfway to the parking area, I heard footsteps behind me. Faster now, wait, my brother's voice. I stopped, but I didn't turn immediately. Let him catch up. Let the moment arrive fully before facing it. When I did turn, he looked different up close. Less composed. Not upset, exactly. Just unsettled. What is this about? He asked. I considered the question. It deserved a real answer, but not a long one. It's about understanding where I stand, I said. He shook his head slightly. That's just logistics. It doesn't mean anything. I looked at him for a second. Then it shouldn't be hard to change, I said. He didn't respond, not because he disagreed, just because he didn't have an immediate way to fix it. And that, more than anything, clarified things. Behind him, I could see the entrance. My parents had stepped outside now, standing just beyond the doorway, watching, not approaching. The distance said enough. You're making this bigger than it is, he said, quieter now. Maybe, I said, but I didn't feel like I was. I felt like I was finally matching the scale of it. I'm not angry, I added. I just don't think I fit into this version of things. He looked at the envelope again, still in his hand. For a moment it seemed like he might hand it back. He didn't. Stay, he said. Not firmly. Not as a demand, just offered. I thought about it. Not the event itself, but what staying would mean. standing there with a role already defined, pretending it didn't matter because saying otherwise would be inconvenient. I shook my head. I'm okay, I said, and I was not better, not resolved, just clear. I got into my car without waiting for anything else to be said. As I pulled away, I saw them in the rearview mirror, still standing there, not following this time. The building behind them stayed bright, unchanged. Inside, the event would continue. Adjust, absorb, move forward. It always does. And for the first time, I wasn't part of what held it together.